Hey, everybody. Thanks for hopping on here with us tonight. I decided, since we have so much momentum going on right now, that this would be a great time to do sort of a back to the basics type Zoom. That so, weirdly, some of the basics have changed. Like some of the ways we do business has been kind of different lately. So it felt like the perfect time to kind of do something like that. I started a 12-day consistency challenge in the Butterfly team page. I actually hijacked this off of our very own Breanne Coolidge. She shared it in one of our Jewel and above groups. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is perfect. And it started yesterday. So if you have not been clipping along with us, that's fine. But this would be perfect. One of those, it's not really one of those things where it's intended for you to feel behind. It's intended for you to actually just do the stuff. And ultimately, use this for the purposes of duplication. And I don't really want to skim on past that until I really stress how important this is for the purposes of duplication. Now, for those of you who are not on my team page, don't panic. We're going to get around to some of that now. If you are on my team page, you're going to want to use the hashtag 12days, 12 days. That will take you to each day as they roll out. Since like I said, we started yesterday, we should end it right at the end of July or really close to it. So I haven't actually looked exactly how it's going to end, but it's going to be very close to that. The other thing I shared in our team page today is another thing that I totally got from Breanne Coolidge, and it is a launch. Let's see exactly what she's called it. It's for the purposes of launching your businesses. It's 4 pages for you to send to a new person that is just a simple checklist to make sure that you're not, if you're like me and you kind of you feel like postpartum brain, even though you're not postpartum, where you're like, did I tell her to do? Did I make sure she saved her password? Did I make sure she remembers her actual referral link? All of these things that we usually have committed to memory to try to pass on to someone to make sure that they get started properly. Y'all, not having that is not having a resource like that that's just a basic checklist like this. It's kind of like should be illegal. Having it is basically the perfect complement to momentum, which is where we are right now. We're in major momentum. We've had such momentum the last couple of months that I'm like, yes, that one's already in the alumni group, and it's in our Butterfly group as well as a file. The beauty of what we're going to do tonight is we're going to look at this so you can see what it consists of. Look at this actual 4 sheets worth. And also the 12 days that we're working on, which only started yesterday, are going to actually walk you through the process of using this, among other things. Like every day it highlights one of the things that you'll need to know what it means basically on this 12-day, on this 4-page document. Now I'm going to show it to you so that you're not sitting there going, I don't know what she's talking about, because it's very simple. You're going to love it. I'm going to share the screen with you for just a second. Okay. Not that. Sorry, I had it pulled up. I just have to find it really quick. This, I think. Yeah, Launching Strong. That's what it's called. Launching Strong. So this is what the first page of the document looks like. So I want you to, if you will, with me, I want you to imagine going back to when you first started with Plexus, what it would have felt like to go through this information. So you can actually take this file and send it to them in an email. You can screen capture the pages if you would prefer. There are several different ways that you could go about this, but basically it's asking them to write down their ID, their referral link, their email or username, the password, it's the subscription date, and then there's the number for customer service. And then they're going to talk, you're going to imagine getting someone on the phone, or imagine someone, if someone had gotten you on the phone and said, tell me a little bit about your goals, maybe give you a day or so to think about what your goals are, so that you could kind of have an idea of what you plan for this business to do in your life, financially, with your health, all of that. Your why, which I love this part. That's basically probably the most impactful thing that you can do for a new ambassador, is to help them kind of go through why they want to work the business, what it would do for them, and to sort of get outside the ranks and the talk about ranks, to get outside the, like the amount of money that they want to make, and rather to actually talk about why they want to make that amount of money. What kind of impact, really, it comes down to impact, what kind of impact it will have on their family to make that kind of money. If someone is really wanting to quit a job, help a spouse quit a job, enroll a child in private school, even enroll a child in dance class, whatever it is, it needs to be something that's powerful to that person and really speaks to them on a level that keeps them focused on why we do what we do. The next part, this is still all on page 1, is a list of 10 names. Here it says, write down 10 people that you could easily share this opportunity for health and wellness with, and 10 people that you would love to bless this opportunity with. Okay, so that's 10 separate names, basically. More along the lines of products and more along the lines of business. Now, this is the second page, Launching Strong, my to-dos. And it says, make sure my subscription order is set to over 100 PV for my free perks and free products. Make my first shout out Facebook post. Set up my direct deposit with Paylution so I can get paid back on my own orders. Create my accountability list. Number 2, or the next portion, is my milestones. Explore your Plexus resources by logging into your account and clicking on the new ambassador portal. Gain accountability partners by helping just 3 friends and family get started with their health journey. I love it, calling them, like to go silver, getting yourself 3 accountability partners. I love the wording of that. Tune into the corporate training events by texting train me to the number. Set up a launch party with my sponsor. And then the next segment is get plugged in. Lori's Plexus Butterflies, the Beauty Inside Out group, the Plexus Ambassador Community group. And then it talks about add tag message, ATM method. So adding friends and family to the Beauty Inside Out group, tagging them in relevant testimonies or product posts by using the search bar to find information that will relate to their needs, and messaging them to let them know that you added and tagged them in a few posts, and that you will check back in with them to answer any questions. And then it's got a tip at the bottom about making sure that you stay on top of your water intake, because we know as people start their products, that's one of the top things that can slow down results or actually make detox harder to go through. So keep an open line. It says keep an open line of communication with your sponsor to develop a product schedule that works for you, and be open with how you're feeling. Commit. We don't develop our negative symptoms overnight, and thankfully, Plexus helps heal for the long term. Okay. And then it has an income chart on the next page, and then a line for them to fill out. What would be an impactful income from Plexus, like an additional on top of their current income, whatever? What would they feel would make an impact in their lives right away? I would say to do this more along the lines, maybe they could do short term, maybe they want to make an extra $200 or $300 a month short term, and then like a long term goal as well. I think that'd be a great place to put like both. And then it goes through the steps of how to activate your pay portal. I won't read all of those, but it gives them the steps so that you know that their money is coming to them the way that they want it to. And the last page is a checklist. I've added them to a 3-way conversation with my sponsor or closest working upline. Help them fill out the Launching Strong sheet by connecting them with their goals and their why. Explain the referral link. the money earned for helping 3 lives, and the importance of accountability. I've helped them create their accountability list and explained a launch party to them to help them pay for their products, and added them to the butterfly page and the beauty inside and out. Explain the importance of getting their water in and staying in communication during any possible signs of detox. Help them explore their back office and pointed out the new ambassador section and resources. Explained Plexus perks and the importance of having 100 PV subscription monthly. I explained how to change their subscription and help them write down the date and the next one ships. I've written down their name on my calendar or set alarms in my phone in the Engage app for follow-up with them for the next month. I have helped them with their first Facebook post, and then it has an example of a first Facebook post. So that's the 4 pages to this document, which I encourage you to send to a new ambassador, have them print it out, and then you can get on the phone with them and go over it. And honestly, if this is something that you've never done, that you feel like, okay, this would help me actually be on top of things better if I had something like this. If you'll notice, let me stop the share. If you'll notice, what we've been doing so far this week in the 12-day thing is we've basically taken a picture of where we keep our products, and then the next day, the suggestion was to begin putting information like your product price sheet, those type of things, hanging them inside the cabinet door where you keep your products. Maybe taking a sheet that talks about the suggested use of the products and having that hanging inside the cabinet door as well. We're trying to streamline the whole process and make it simplified for everyone. In fact, unless you guys end up doing this and go, didn't work, don't like it, to me, I think this is going to really work for me. Whatever y'all say, you may not, but to me, I think this is going to work really well for me in my level 1s. But unless you tell me otherwise, we will probably keep this 12-day hashtag thing going so that every single time you have someone sponsor, someone enroll to be part of your team, you can show them within our team page how to go through the 12 days by using the hashtag. That way, you'll understand a little bit more basically as the 12 days unroll, because part of going through the 12 days, actually each day, one segment of the 4 segments that are on the 12 days, like one is about consistency, one is about top tips, one is each day of the 12 days has 4 segments. One segment each day is stepping them through this worksheet so that if they've never been through it and they don't know how to go through it, it even has the link to it in case, people slip through the cracks all the time. And that's literally what I'm trying to avoid happening, is make it where people don't get on our team page and go, what on earth is going on here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people asking questions, people answering questions, and files everywhere that don't even, a lot of the files are not even, what am I saying? They're not current. They don't apply anymore. So streamlining the 12-day using that hashtag and helping our new people get engaged in a way that they're doing something every single day that's productive when they first start out. Are you guys liking this so far? Simplify. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to answer Misty's question. She said, can you share how your team does a launch party for new people? Personally, what I have been doing on a grander scale is I do launch parties that are a little different than what you're asking about. I do it in the Beauty Inside and Out group, and I do them once a month. However, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I believe in our virtual office, there is a template for doing a launch party for one person. So sometimes, here's the thing. If you've never been added to one of these Plexus style, trust me when I say Pampered Chef or someone else has added you to one. where it's just your friend and her friends, say someone enrolled in Pampered Chef, and or a makeup company, and or whatever, and um, they add their friends to a group, and it's just that person and their friends, and their sponsor coaches them through doing a launch party. And so that's how you would ultimately get someone to do, say, the equivalent of silver in one night. Are you guys following what I'm saying? Okay. So there are templates for it, and there are other teams who have other templates too that are something that they do every time that a person gets a new level 1. They take them through doing a launch party. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's a great idea if somebody wants to take the reins and do one individually. I try to keep them going once a month for the collective whole. And you could also, a lot of those templates that are in like the Beauty Inside and Out group, you could take those, especially the graphics, and maybe alter it a little bit to be a little bit more specific about enrolling tonight, a little bit more, I don't want to call it, a little bit more focused on enrollment. And there are also, I've seen templates that basically coach your new level 1, how to invite people, all of that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff is out there. I just don't do it. I'm answering your question basically. So hope that is helpful. Let me grab my notes here. I encourage you, if you're watching this video, if you're on here tonight, or if you're watching this as a recording, to go into those two groups, actually even stop the recording right here and go into those two groups, the Lori's Plexus Butterflies and the Beauty Inside and Out group. Go into your settings and set it to where it shows all posts to you. Those groups are both, or I should say, are neither too active to where you would be overwhelmed with notifications. There's like 1 or 2 things going on in the Beauty Inside and Out group in a day's time, unless it's an event day, which you need to be notified about. So having those notifications on is a smart thing. And then you have the other aspect of the Lori's Plexus Butterfly page, which that may be a little bit more active, but you'd have control if you wanted to turn that off. Mostly it's just people asking a question every now and then, that type of thing. And I think it's a great way for people to learn. So those 2 things, turning the notifications on, I think is really smart. I think also keeping a product price sheet, and you could actually find a product price sheet by putting that in the search bar in the team page, which is the butterfly group. You can put product pricing sheet in the search bar and you'll pull up a current one. Printing that out and hanging it inside your cabinet door is also a really smart thing to do. I wanted to share something with you that I have not focused on nearly enough until recently, and that is doing stories. I didn't want to make this whole call about that, but I've noticed that out of the last 7, 8 or so that I've sponsored, I would say 6 of them came from stories. And that I'm talking about when I say 7 or 8, I'm talking about within a 5-week period. They've come from people answering a poll on a story. Then I go over, start a conversation with them, and through the conversation, now way more than that have read my stories. Way more than that have actually answered my poll, like a lot. But the numbers of how many people I have enrolled, it's really ringing true with me. So I really wanted to highlight that for you guys for just a second. I wanted to tell you about a group that I'm part of. It's One Plexus Instagram Stories. You can find it by Googling or searching on Facebook in the search bar. One Plexus Instagram Stories. That doesn't mean you have to use them on Instagram exclusively. It doesn't mean anything. It's just where you can find the goods. So in my social media challenge group, when I've been doing We did a whole week's worth of suggested ways to post for 1 week. And in that process, I was grabbing stories. The one that I did that was the most recent, I sponsored a, what do I call? Oh, chicken lister. I was thinking, what are they called? A wish list. I sponsored a chicken list last night from Joyome Collagen. Of course, I've been trying to sponsor this person for years. Like just, intermittently, not like every day for years, y'all. I'm not crazy, but she came to me based on a story, you understand? And I was like, this is exciting. And so that's that. Okay, now I wanted to show you, in case some of you are sitting out there going, she keeps talking about stories and I don't know how to do a story. I'm going to make it very brief, but I don't want anybody not knowing, because that's the way I was when I first heard somebody talking about stories. I was like, yeah, sometimes I share something from my wall and make it pop up on my stories. That's one way you can do it. You can actually create a post on your wall and then you can click share, and one of the options would be to share it to your story. In that instance, depending on what the post is consisting of, for example, if it's mostly just words or if it's a graphic in words, the way it pops up there and looks, unless you're better than an amateur, you have less control over what it's going to look like up there. It kind of looks like a box with the beginning part of your post in it. And so while I do that sometimes, if people are not used to looking at stories, they may not see but the first little portion of what I wrote, and then it's going to go to the next slide. I look at stories now like a slideshow because that's what it's like. And I wanted to show you how you go about it. If you look at your profile, this is what mine looks like. And there's that, add story. Okie dokie. It's going to pull up the last several pictures from here. So before you go adding to your story, you want to grab something from somewhere or create something. If you want to get some slides from the One Plexus Instagram story group, that would be a great way to start, because then they're already done. They go through lots of times. If you look at the slides and you're like, why did they do it like that? It's sometimes not until you see it in slideshow format that you'll see, for example, the first slide might say, this is your brain. This is your brain, and then on drugs. Okay, I'm just giving an example. And then it would say, this is your brain on drugs. Any questions? You'd be like, why did they make that into 3 slides? Well, as it goes through them, you see it just looks like it goes da 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 da, just like a PowerPoint, and then it goes da 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 da, and it layers it in there, and it looks really nice. And people who know how they're making them, it makes it look really nice as it comes across. That way you're going, why does each slide say the same thing with one thing added? Is everyone following so far? Okay, if you've probably seen it and figured that out, but just in case you haven't, here's a little trick I learned when I was starting. At the top, when you're looking at your pictures, if you're going to do a story that includes like multiple slides, there is a select multiple at the top, and it's got a little picture there, and you click that, and it basically lets you just touch one, just make sure you get them in order. And then if you have one at the end that you want to put a poll on, like for example, if you go in that group and you find one and their picture actually has a poll on it, that's not a clickable poll. It's not a way to get feedback from people. So what you have to do, I'm going to make a fake story for you guys really quick. I should have just set this up to where, here, I won't do a fake one. I'll do this one. Well, yeah. Select multiple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's the one with the poll on it. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to post that one yet. This is how I do it. And then it goes down here, next, 6. So I click next. And then it says, it asks me, make sure, do I want to share to story? Then I would share it. Then I would go back, and instead of do multiple, I would add to story the last one, the one that had the poll on it. I'm going to grab that one. Let's show you. Let me find one that has that really quick. Probably, okay. This is one we've all seen. Okay, this is Molly's, back of Molly's legs, and the back of Molly's legs a little bit later. If that had already had a poll on it, I could actually go down there where it says poll. Underneath, as soon as I pulled it up, it says poll. You may have to move it over to get it to say poll because that little slide bar moves right and left. And I would click poll, and it's going to pop up and look like this. Well, hang on. Yes or no? A pro tip here is you don't want to ask a yes or no. You want to ask something like, are you ready? Or I'm ready. I need more info. I'm ready. I need more info. Yes, sign me up. I need more info. That's what usually I go between those two. Now, a poll comes with a question at the top, and you can actually type in a question like, do you like, red or black better? And then it'll be red, black. But you don't have to do a question at all, and that can be confusing. You just skip that part. You can just go inside the button that says yes and click it and edit. Just type in, I'm ready, and then you go to the other one and type in, I need more info. Then you click done. Then you can move the actual poll to cover if they put a poll on their slide. If they're just showing you what kind of poll to put on there, you can actually take it. Okay, done. It's done, and I can move it. I can turn it sideways. I can make it that big. I can make it smaller, whatever. I can make it cover up the poll, and then I share the story. Now, that was a long explanation for how to do the poll, but to take you back so that you remember, you've lined out the story, and the last one you saved for the last before you added it and added a poll to it, because when you select multiple, unless y'all tell me otherwise, I could be wrong. When you do select multiple, you can actually you can't actually put a poll on the last one when you're posting several at a time, in my experience.
Lori, you can, or you can on an Android.
Oh, okay. And you may be able to, and I just hadn't figured that out yet on my phone. I don't know. Okay, you can? Okay. If that's true, then you can basically skip the portion where I said that you have to do that last one last, like separated. I've been doing it like that. I thought it was pretty brilliant for figuring that out. Thanks, y'all. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm glad to know. And so here's the thing. Once you have done a story, it lasts for 24 hours, and they start clipping off in order. They start fading away. So if you did one yesterday at 8 in the morning, at 8 in the morning today, it's going to be gone. And then if you did one later at noon, that one's going to be gone at noon the next day, so on and so forth. If you do a story, it kind of all a slide series like that, it will fade away basically all at the same time if you selected multiples. So I'm explaining all of that so that you kind of understand the skeleton of how stories work. Hang on, my brain is trying to grab what I thought of a second ago. Oh, you can actually, you'll see notifications as people begin to answer your poll. This is what it was. Do your best, if there's a poll, to move the poll in a spot, unless you're trying to cover something up, someone else's poll, to move the poll in a spot to where the finger doesn't automatically swipe. Otherwise, you will accidentally get people answering your poll and they didn't mean to. Like they touched it to swipe your story. Does that make sense? So sometimes I've started doing this thing where I just say, I saw you answered my poll, and then I respond to them. It shows me in my notifications when people start answering my poll. And so, for example, if they're saying I need more info, then this is the perfect time to make stories and your app collaborate. If they need more info, y'all, this is gold, what I'm telling you here, okay? When you're looking at their name and you go, oh gosh, I'm in the checkout lane and don't mess with it right now. Don't let that person fall through the cracks. Don't say, hey girl, I saw you answered my poll, unless you know you're going to be standing in that line for a second, because you're going to want to put that person, their name and information in your Plexus Engage app. If you don't have that app, you can go to the App Store and you can type in Plexus Engage. And there is an entire video that from one of these videos, like what we're doing right now, that trains on how to use that app. But at that point, you're going to want to say, if they've said they needed more info, you're going to want to try to find a video within the app that you can send to them, because ultimately it's going to lead down a road to where they can either ask for a sample or they'll be able to get a discount code because they went through the app. The app and this training that we're doing right now are so hand in hand that you will be able to keep up with the people that you've talked to. I'm going to tell you what, y'all, over 8 years, thousands of people I have talked to, and I don't have a list of them all. I didn't start keeping a track of them because it was like, oh, like I was answering in the nooks and crannies. If you're going to go to the trouble to do stories, don't let people slip through the cracks of the stories, because people are going to click. It's like crack. They want to click that yes. They want to click the no. They want to click I'm ready. They want to say I want more info, whatever. As that's happening, you're going to want to put them in your app. As you go through the app, it allows you to send them information that came through the app, like a video, and the app will even tell you if they started watching the video. It'll tell you that they got 2/3 of the way through the video. It's like a little behind the scenes fly on the wall thing for you, so you know that they watched the video. Then you know that it's the time to reach back out, and your app notifies you, so and so's watching your video. And it's like, like, who knew, right? That's so exciting. All right. Like I said, if you're watching this video now and you want to make sure that you know how to use the app properly, I highly encourage that training. In fact, I will probably put it on the team page in the links under this video. Okay. Let's see. Teach how to do stories. One Plexus Instagram story group. There is a discount code. This is not universal. It won't be always. That is working in some instances. If like, for example, last night, the person that answered my stories, she came up out of the blue, decided, like I hadn't added her to the app. This has been years in the making. And she's like, I'm ready. And I'm like, what? Okay. So I didn't have her in my app. I could have pushed her through my app to try to get her through to the discount code. But instead, since I knew she wasn't in the Plexus system anywhere, there's a code that's been floating around that's working. If someone's never been in the system, it seems to be working in that instance. And it's capital letters SAM 2020. Capital SAM, SAM 2020. Okay. Now, if you're watching this after July of 2020, that code may or may not be working. I don't know. I can't say for sure. One other thing, I'm going to share with you a comp plan video that I found that's 6 minutes long. And to me, it is one of the better videos. It's, there's a diamond whose husband did this video, and it's concise in a way, because you're going, we get paid 11 ways. How does he do that in 6 minutes? He only goes through the three major ways, I think, the three major talking points of how we get paid. And in the beginning, let's be honest, that's all people really need to know anyway. So I'm going to let you guys, we're going to watch it together. I'm going to eat some squash casserole that my daughter made earlier from our garden. I'm sitting here smelling it going, it was too hot when she said it in front of me. And I'm like, looks so good. Yes, you can go through the app without sending a sample. You can pique interest. There are other ways to go about it, unless I'm telling somebody wrong, because I've been doing it. Okay. Let me find this really quick. It's on the, okay. There it is. All right. That one, I think that's it. Are you guys able to see it? Okay. I'm hoping the audio works well enough. I turned it all up. Here we go.
I think we're good. Everybody shut up while I'm trying to film this. Stress-free day. Hey, how are you? I'm Adam Jones. I am a silver ambassador with Plexus, and I am here to share a little bit with you guys about the compensation plan. I'm not from Plexus corporate. They have not hired me to do this video. I'm not affiliated with them. My wife is Shay Jones. She is a diamond ambassador, and she gets all sorts of questions about the compensation plan, and then she usually gets to pass these people off to me. And I actually really enjoy talking about the compensation plan because it is so awesome. This is going to be that 30,000 foot view, maybe answer some questions that you've had along the way as we jump into it. So buckle up, get you active, and let's get into it. So what is commission qualified? That is one of the biggest questions we get. What the heck does that mean? So commission qualified means that you are qualified to receive commission. Okay? And so to be commission qualified, you have to have a PV, a personal volume, of 100 or more. So the way that you get PV is when you yourself or a customer buy product through your portal. So when somebody goes to that site and they buy products, or you buy products for yourself, you have your subscription on, you should have your subscription on, then that's going to add to your PV total, okay, your personal volume. And so for instance, let's say you have yourself, you buy a triplex combo. The triplex combo right now in 2020, if we're going to count this as a year, right now it costs $119.95. So from that $119.95, it's worth 110 PV. So just from the triplex combo alone, if that's the only thing that you're getting, you're going to be commission qualified every single month. Now, if you're not commission qualified, if your PV doesn't exceed 100 or more, then you will not be able to receive a paycheck as an investment, okay? So that's an important thing to understand. If you don't have a subscription set up, I highly recommend that you do a subscription for two reasons. One, you're never going to run out of product because it's going to show up every single month without you even having to think about it. The second cool thing is called Plexus Perk Points. So every time that your subscription goes out for 100 PV or more, you're going to start earning perk points. Now, perk points are basically like a loyalist program. So you get to be rewarded just for caring about your health and having a subscription set up. So let's talk about real quick what adds to your PV. So we talked about how your subscription, right, that can add to your PV. If you buy more products in your subscription, that can add to your PV. If you have retail customers, you have preferred customers. These all contribute to buying products from your site, you know, the thing you get when you first sign up, and you start to increase your PV, okay? Now, the cool thing is you're going to see a percentage of sales for everything past the first 100. The first 100 PV, which is what makes you commission qualified, goes towards paying 7 people above you. Past the first 100 PV, that's yours. You get to see a commission off of that, okay? So everything up to 499 PV, you get a 15% cut of. So we have two ranges, basically 100 to 499, right? And then 500 and above. So once you hit 500 and above, you get 25%. It just increases 10% just for passing into the 500 range. Let's say that your PV at the end of the month, which cuts off at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, July 31st, for instance. Whatever your PV is in that month, let's say it's 1,100 PV. Remember, the first 100 PV, you don't get to see anything from. That goes to paying 7 people above you, okay? But that 1,000, since you passed 500, you get 25% of 1,000. So right there, just from the products that you've sold, and that includes your subscription, that includes you get paid on your product that you order and you benefit from. That 1,000, you get 25% of that. And so is there any math wizards out there? That's right. $250 goes towards your monthly commission. Now, what the heck are pay points and how do you get paid? Every person that joins your team is worth a certain amount of pay points. As you get up through the ranks, so as your points increase, your rank increases, right? And so you'll go from being paid on 3 levels to 5 levels to 7 levels deep. So you have levels 1, 2, and 3 are worth 5 pay points apiece. Then we get to level 4. At level 4, it's worth 4 pay points. Then level 5, that is worth 3 pay points. Level 6 is worth 2, and level 7 is worth 1 pay point. As ambassadors or commission qualified, remember 100 PV or more on your team, you're going to see benefits for that. That's how you get paid on a pay point. That's how they become somebody that counts towards your rank. Typically, your pay point's going to be worth somewhere in the range of $2.50, maybe $3. It depends every month on how many ambassadors we have, how many total sales there are. If we have the same sales as last month but twice the ambassadors, then it might go down a little bit. So let's say you just hit gold. You have 100 pay points and you are rocking it. You are killing the game. You went gold. That's awesome. So now, what is your paycheck going to be at its bare minimum just based on pay points? Okay? So let's say that pay point's worth $2.50. So we're going to take 100 times 2.50, $2.50, which is going to give us $250. Not to mention the rank bonuses that you're going to get, the commission you're going to get off the TV, all the other building business bonuses that you're going to see. Those 3 things are what Shay and I think are such important building blocks. For anyone that rolls in, they're like, hey, I want to make this a business. I know that there's a lot more detail into each one of those things, but being commission qualified, understanding your PV and how you get paid on it, what pay points are, and how you get them are just like really, those should be things that you can rattle off at the drop of a pen, right? Those are important things for us. We're going to make more content coming up. Thanks for watching.
Okay, let me stop this so it doesn't start playing. I think it's okay. Okay. You guys like that video? Pretty decent, right? I know a lot of the comp plan videos I've seen are like 40 minutes long or something like that. And it doesn't have to be that way, especially starting out. So that is another link that I'll be sharing with you guys if you want to have that link separate from this video. Also, if you're watching this recording and if anything so far has raised a question in your mind, I encourage you to stop the video now and go back and talk to the person who sponsored you. If they are new or don't know the answer to it, then between the two of you, one of you can come and ask questions, try to figure it out, because these are the nuts and bolts of how our company works. The social media tips are to make your business smoother and make you not have to do this door to door. You probably joined because you saw a post on social media yourself. So therefore, that's probably how you will work your business as well. But the nuts and bolts, how it works, especially now that we have an app that helps you track what's going on with your contacts, it's super important that you understand how those things work. One other thing I wanted to highlight is I want you to start considering that every time I announce an event that's coming up, like a launch within our Beauty Inside and Out group, start considering using stories as a way to attract people to get them in the group. Now, what I'm meaning by that is if they answer that they want more info, add them to your app, add them to the Beauty Inside and Out group. Make that just your new thing that you do. It's like checklist, and then tell them when you add them to that, tell them once you've added them to the group, send them the link to the group, make sure that they have actually clicked join, and then maybe tag them in a couple of testimonies. It doesn't have to be from the current event that we're doing. It can be anything that you know would be interesting to them. So for example, a word that I find myself often Googling in there or searching in there is eczema or something like that, so that you can pull up any stories that talk about that. You can tag them in a couple of them, teach them how to use the search bar. Don't assume that because someone's been on Facebook for 10 years that they've ever used the search bar. It's a fact. People don't. Most people who are not in business on Facebook are using it just for social use. And so if you're like, just search for it in there, be kind enough to say, you'll just go to the top. There'll be a search bar. Search for the word that's interesting to you. Maybe give them a word. Search for the word, something that they have asked you about. And then say, and if there's something else that's interesting to you, just click around there and see if anybody has talked about it, because the group is more than a couple of years old now. So there's lots of great content in that group. So prior to an upcoming event or any time that someone asks for more info, it doesn't have to be when an event is coming up, because that info is a drip group. So that way, I look at it kind of like corralling your people. Do you understand? I look at it where it's like, okay, I've talked to this person and I've got them over here where they're going to get dripped on information, new testimonies. I add a testimony usually every day, sometimes a couple a day, sometimes I might skip a day, whatever. But I'm constantly adding content in there that could pique their interest. You could even teach them how to set their settings, since it's not an overwhelming group, how to set their settings so that they can show all notifications from this group. Because it's not set to where everybody can post in there, like the thousands of people in there, not everyone can post. So they're not going to get overwhelmed with information. So adding them to the app, adding them to the Beauty Inside and Out group. Anytime someone clicks more info on your stories. And then if you know the content of an upcoming event, let's say it's going to be a gut health, you would go, I'm trying to make this where you feel independent of me telling you what to do, so you can kind of make decisions on your own. So you can go into the One Plexus Instagram stories group, and you can look for one that looks like it's kind of centered around gut health. Or you could look for one that's centered around Joyome, for example, testimonies or whatever. If we have an event that's coming up that has a specific theme, you look for that theme, post that story, put the poll at the end, and at the end when they actually answer your poll, one of the things you do is add them to your app. And the app, you use the app to share content with them so that you can keep them tracked easily. This is to keep people from falling through the cracks. Also, you're going to corral them into the Beauty Inside and Out group. That way, when a new event comes up, whether you've told them about it or not, when I announce the event in the group, you have a list of people that you can go in there and basically tag and say, this is coming up on Thursday. Just wanted to let you know about it. There'll be cool giveaways. Just answer the questions, whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, that's good feedback, Jen. I also love the fact that it was a guy sharing the info. There's something about talking about money and listening to a guy talk about it, right? I literally had the same thought. I was like, and not just listening to a guy talk about money, but also the fact that this guy is so interested in the compensation plan that his wife is a diamond, hands the phone off and says, here, you talk about the money, baby. Because it's interesting to those boys, isn't it? When they're like, oh, now, wait a minute. What now? You can what? And also to be completely sexist and weird about it, there's something about a wife showing that to their husband saying, this is what's taking me an extra 30 minutes at night when I'm whatever. This is what I'm headed for. This is and they're listening to a dude. talk about it. So there's something about that. I like it too. Okay. Let's see. I'm kind of thinking what I want to do right now to keep this video short, but then what I'll do is I'm going to sort of say a blanket prayer over anybody who listens to this, and then I'll cut the recording off, and then we can kind of go over questions and anything, so we can kind of keep it streamlined. There's one example I'm really wanting to give you guys about that I saw today about a way to simplify going emerald in your mind that I loved, but I don't really want it to be part of this video. I don't mind going over it though. So I'm going to turn music on. Those of you who are new to our team, we don't require you to agree with us about any spiritual beliefs or anything like that. In order to be, that was loud, in order to participate in our group events and all of this stuff, I don't share anything spiritual in our Beauty Inside and Out group. But on these calls, often we have people needing prayer for different things. And I have a gift of prayer, a gift of healing, and that's just something that I like to extend when I feel led by the Holy Spirit. So God, we just welcome you into all that we do. And if you agree with me on this, you're welcome to pray along with me. Holy Spirit, let your Holy Spirit fire fall on everything we're working through in our personal life, in our business life. God, we just invite you to refine us with your refining fire. Truth. We're only interested in the truth of who you are and the truth of our purpose while we live this life. May we do this business to honor and glorify the kingdom. May we extend out a helping hand in relationship to people through this business from a heart filled with love. There is something truly beautiful and glorious when that finally flips in your mind and you realize this is all about people. And it's about people breaking free from chains and the burdens of health struggles and the burdens of financial struggles, two of the number one stressors in this world. God, we just come out of any agreements or vows that we have taken in regards to poverty. And God, we just ask that you would wrap us up in a blanket of truth about how you feel about what it's like to live a life that's truly sanctified and lovely and filled with hope. I thank you for every single person that you would put in any of our paths for us to extend our love out to. May they be blessed by our presence in their life. May our families be protected divinely and overwhelm us with your divine love, God. We pray all of these things in our Savior's name. Amen. Okay, I'm going to end the recording part. It's recording.